We're here with my boy Eric today, the day one of YCS.
I got one loss.
He got one loss. He ended up dropping, but we're gonna show off his volcanic deck, volcanic Horus Snake Eye FTK deck.
VHS, baby. Videotapes.
It's pretty cool. It's a pretty good deck.
So, first, we're going to start off with the best card in the deck. Triple Volcanic Shells. And then we're going to move on to the second best card of the deck. Your normal summon, Volcanic Trooper. Volcanic Trooper nets you any volcanic card directly to the hand. Whether if you're adding Volcanic Shell, Volcanic Blaze Accelerator, depending on what you have in your hand. But this is literally the best card of the deck, normal summon and everything. 2 Volcanic Emperor. What he does is when he is special summoned, he burns your opponent by the amount of banished pyro monsters and then sets a volcanic trap directly from the deck. In order to summon him, you have to actually banish 3 pyro monsters from your face-up field, your graveyard. They can be face down. I learned that through a judging call, apparently. And it came up one time, so that's how I know that. But anytime your opponent special summons a monster, ignition effect to burn for 500 per each special summon. So when you apply 2 of these on the board, puts on a lot of pressure. It cannot be normal summon or set. You have to special summon it by its own effect. If its summon gets negated, by the way, you can still keep attempting to summon it if you have the resources. Next off, 2 Volcanic Rimfire. What this guy does is he's a foolish burial for the volcanics when he's sent to the graveyard, and he also has a really nifty other effect. If you have a face-up Blaze Accelerator on the field like this or something, you can banish it and then place another one directly from the deck. Cool thing is, these are soft once per turns. We also have the standard 3 Volcanic Scattershot. If you don't know what this does, you're missing out. If it's dumped off of the effect of a volcanic or a Blaze Accelerator card, you get to dump 2 from your either hand or deck and burn for 500 for each copy, and also Raigeki the field. Next up, we have triple Volcanic Blaze Accelerator. What this card does is to activate it, you have to dump the original Blaze Accelerator directly from the deck or your hand to the graveyard to activate it. Has 2 soft once per turn effects. The first one is you can special summon a volcanic monster from your hand, and the other is going to be you can target a monster on your opponent's side of the field and dump a level 1 pyro monster from your deck directly to the graveyard. If it's a volcanic monster, you get to pop the card. You get a foolish burial through that. You usually send your scatter shot, so that way you can do the effect to banish it from the graveyard, mill a volcanic monster from the deck, and then the other effect, if you banish the Volcanic Rimfire, you get to place another Blaze Accelerator card from the deck. Next, we have the standard 1 Blaze Accelerator. If you don't know what this does, you can send a fire monster or pyro type monster with 500 or less attack from your hand to the graveyard, destroy a monster your opponent controls. You can't conduct your battle phase the turn you activate this effect, but it is not once per turn. You can keep using it as many times as you'd like, as long as you have resources. Triple Fire Ejection. What this card does is it sends 1 pyro monster from your deck to the graveyard. If you dump the volcanic monster, you can apply one of these 2 effects. The first one is burn damage by its level. It's by 100, so I mean, it can come up in time. Most of the time you want it for the second effect, which is you dump a pyro monster and then you special summon 1 bomb token on your opponent's side of the field. Level 1, 1000 attack, 1000 defense. If it's blown up, burn your opponent for 500, whether it's by battle or card effect. Standard 1 Blaze Accelerator reload. It's a foolish burial from the graveyard by banishing it to dump a volcanic monster, usually scatter shot, but in a pinch you can dump out Emperor if you have no access to it. You can dump out a shell, but usually it's a quick effect to dump out volcanic scatter shot. Next is the one trap that you're going to be setting off Volcanic Emperor. It's called Volcanic Emission. You can activate one of these effects and only use one of each effect per turn. You take a volcanic monster from your deck, either add it to your hand or special summon it, ignoring its summoning conditions. So normally you'd special summon a Volcanic Emperor, another copy of it, if you don't have enough damage to burn for lethal. So then you know your opponent's got about 1,000 life points to worry about to special summon a monster. The second effect, which is usually what you want to do when you want to burn them for game, is target one pyro monster on the field, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack. If you targeted a monster you control, the damage is half, so you'd be targeting your Volcanic Emperor, burn them for 1550. If there's another pyro monster on the field, say your opponent controls one, you can burn them for a pretty lethal amount. That does it for the Volcanic engine. Anyways, standard triple bonfire, because first and foremost, this is a volcanic deck. Triple I'm Steady Spaghetti. If you don't know what he does, you send this card from your hand to the graveyard with one other card. It searches you a King Sarcophagus. Then, if you control King Sark, you can special summon it from the graveyard. Does not start a chain. If a card is sent from the field to the graveyard that you control, while this is on the field, you get to send a card your opponent controls to the graveyard. Next off, Dogwater, Blessing of the Horus. He gains attack equal to monsters of the different names on the field. So usually you got like him and Hippie and I'm Steady Spaghetti on the field. So he becomes a 3600 beat stick. Pretty nifty effect, honestly. If card leaves the field, just like any other Horus card would, you get to draw cards equal to the amount of different names you control upon the time of the activation. Then we got Hippie. He's pretty cool. Nets you back cards from either banish pile or your graveyard or either players, and then bounces them back to the hand. It comes up a lot. I like it. It's a level 8 monster to use for rank 8 plays or link climbs. Then we got 2 King Sarks. What this does is up to 4 times per turn, you can send a card from your hand to the graveyard to mill out a Horus monster to the graveyard. And then if your Horus monsters battle an opponent's monster, you can use the effect of King Sark to send that monster to the graveyard. It is a soft once per turn, so if you have 2, I don't know why you'd want to do that though. But hey, that's the Horus engine. Then we got Snake Eyes. 1 big roach. 4 of the little roaches. This is pretty standard. Everyone's seen what Snake Eyes stuff does. It's not really a fun deck. This is too burnt on the Snake Eyes stuff. Continuing on, Triple D Bellstar. Standard what she does. If you don't know, I mean, you're probably not staying up to the current format. I know I'm not. Triple wanted to get her to hand. 1 copy of the OSS. 1 copy of the Divine Temple. This right here is our little degenerate war criminal. He's a war crime enthusiast. What he does is he has a special summon condition from the deck. Tribute 1 spellcaster monster, 1 pyro monster on the field that you control. Special summon this card from the deck. Or your hand if he's in the hand, which feels bad, man. It happens. Happened a lot to me at YCS. Anyways, once he's summoned by his own effect, you can target a card that your opponent controls, 1 monster. Burn your opponent for the attack that monster controls, the original attack. So if they have the bomb token, burn them for 1,000. I burned a memento dude for 5,000 attack, which is pretty fucking funny. I'm not gonna lie, that was a good one. And then once this little war crime enthusiast right here is sent to the graveyard, he nets you this here, his partner in crime, Spiritual Fire Kurenai. Tribute 1 fire monster. Inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack. Burn them. You usually tribute off Volcanic Emperor, burn them for 3,100 after you activate emissions. And then we have the little Geneva Convention violators right here. Nemesis Flag and Nemesis Corridor. This little delinquent duo, they violated the Geneva Convention. So, Nemesis Flag, since he's a pyro monster, he synergizes with this deck relatively well. If you have no other targets to search off of Bonfire, you've basically got your combos you want to play or whatever, you search him. Then you use him, shuffle a banished monster directly into the deck, since this deck does a lot of banishing. Special him, uses effect, search Corridor, special summon Corridor. Now, if you know, Corridor is a Thunder type monster whose effect activates in the hand. If you're very familiar with Toss format, you know that he has a really, really huge obsession with a big dictator monster. We'll get to him later. 2 Magician Souls. He dumps out your spellcaster monsters from the deck, so you can dump out a Diabell Star. Sometimes your back row gets clogged a lot. This is draw power. Also a spellcaster monster if you need a free body whenever you're in that weird state. He's an extender in his own. Alright, now we're going to the non-engine hand trap stuff. Triple Ash. Double Ghost Mourner because burn damage is funny. Haha. Double Triple Tactics. I mean, we're in a hand trap format. Sometimes you can hand rip your opponent for something. Other times it's just you gotta draw 2. 1 fire recovery. Monster born for fire monsters, as well as you can banish this, shuffle 3 from your graveyard, and banish pile into the deck. Helps you reuse your scatter shots, helps you reuse your volcanic rim fires, your shells, and then 1 for 1. Standard card.
Is that the whole main deck?
That is the whole main deck.
And how many cards in the main deck is that?
That is a 60 card main deck.
Jesus, man.
And then we are going into the extra deck. 1 Relinquish Anima. I mean, that's a spellcaster. You use it to send your level 1 to the graveyard, Rimfire, or Volcanic Shell. Maybe your Snake Eyes monsters. Shit comes up. SP Little Dude. So, Britney Spears. I think I only summoned him 1 time because I don't know, man. I FTK'd a few people. It was funny, but I also felt bad. Some people lost the time. I know I would have had my moments, but anyways. IP Masquerena, the standard. There's a Snake Eyes engine in here, dude. Nightmare Phoenix. You use this to just kind of pop a back row or co-link it into Appaloosa, so that way she can't be beat over. Pit censored early. What this guy does is I never found myself summoning him. But he's got a nifty negate and a tag 0 out effect if a monster he's pointing to uses its effects. So if you got him co-linked on Appaloosa and then you got SP, and I never found myself establishing boards well enough to where I could do that or combo off to that extent. Which, like, it happens, man. Then you got Hita. Standard. This is a fire deck, bro. If you get Ash, your Ash turns into a Pro Meth Mommy. You got Dark. And I don't think I ever summoned him once. Then we got Celine. I'm going to be completely honest. I forgot and thought she summoned from the deck. Did not mean to. My opponents caught me and told me, hey, it's directly from like the hand or the graveyard, which I was like, yeah, you got me. I apologize. Corrected my plays. Still had targets in the graveyard such as Diabell Star, Amseti, Magician Souls. So, but she comes up. Prometh Mommy, another delinquent war crime enthusiast. Her partner in crime, because I was running Raging Phoenix in this, but Raging Phoenix is more of a going second thing, and this is like a deck you want to go first with because it's a fun turn kill, you know, fun for you, not for your opponent. But You can tribute him off for the effect of Karenai just to use and burn if you just need to keep your Volcanic Emperor on the field. Appaloosa. I summoned her once and then she got beat over for game on that one. But I will say the dude took his time and he had to figure out how to get rid of the Nightmare Phoenix off of like the co-link, and then once he did that he beat over her, and I was just kind of like, hey man, you outplayed me. Then we got Martin Luther King Jr. Ultra right here. Access code talker. He had a dream. His dream was to OTK. It never came up. I FTK'd, but I also got clapped a couple times. So, I mean, hey. Photon Lord, I think I made him twice. He does stuff. He negates. Doesn't destroy unless it's a Galaxy Eyes you're detaching, but cool card. This was the guy I found myself making the most simply because he saved my ass with milling things, burning my opponent in time, scenarios like that. He would load up the graveyard for Volcanic Emperor. If I couldn't get to him, this was another way I would attempt to get to him. He would get my Horus monsters to the graveyard if I got ashed on certain things. It just, all around, probably one of the best extra deck cards in this fucking deck. And then, this right here, this man is the reason why the Geneva Convention is a whole thing. If you ever played in TOS format, you know this man is a war criminal, an evil dictator. But that's why I run Nemesis Corridor in this deck. You tribute off a Thunder monster that activated its effect while in hand. So, when these two war criminals are together, fun stuff happens. Not for the opponent, but for you. And now they got to think of how the hell to get, rid of the Thunder Dragon Colossus. If they pop it, you have to shuffle this back or banish this, which you only have protection for one thing, but some people had to really try to outplay it. And then we'll move on to side deck. For the shifter decks, Curry Card Div Incarnate, it's searchable in this deck. Yeah.
Did that end up in use at all?
No. I sided it in the Curse of a 60 card deck. You never find what you side in. 2 Drusif Stalins, 1 Smegma Nut. Pretty standard ratios. And then you got Nibirs with Attitude, Drolstifers, my 3rd copy of Moonlit Chill. Honestly, I just ran out of space. Couldn't figure out what to swap out for this one. 1 Volcanic Counter. Brother, it's a Volcanic card. It was just in there for style points. But it does come up in regards to being hit. It's a mandatory effect, but if this card is in your graveyard while you have another fire monster and you take battle damage, you immediately banish this card from the graveyard and then burn your opponent for the same amount of damage you took. So, say you're getting hit by an access code brother for 5,300, and this is in your graveyard, and that's the first hit you've taken, you're burning your opponent for 5,300. And if they've already taken a nasty lashing of burns, then, hey man, you stole a game. Triple Cosmic Cyclone. I learned that I really don't like Runic. And I wish this was in my hand. But hey man, that Runic player outplayed me. Props to him. He was an absolute unit. Shout out to some of my opponents. A lot of y'all were pretty cool. Some of them ran their mouth about me, but I guess they had a different tune in person with me. They were polite and friendly and everything, but whatever, man. Get burned. Sucks to suck, lose to time. And that's it. Volcanic Horus Snake Eyes. Honestly, shout outs to Team Infinity. Let me borrow a couple fucking cards. Absolutely. We played and we were definitely some duelists of all time. We had fun. If I could change anything, I wish I didn't break on going first on few games. But hey,
Hell
it is
yeah.
what it is.
Yeah, dude, that was a fucking good deck. You burned a bunch of people to death.
I got the FTK off 3 times, which was really funny and I felt bad. But like, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! We're playing to win.